Master of distraction, President-elect Donald Trump is trolling his opponents and manipulating the media by threatening to annex Canada and seize control of Greenland and the Panama Canal. Why none of this insane territorial expansion will actually come to pass and is intentionally fomented by Trump to distract from his real agenda. Welcome to the No Spin Zone. Graphs Grievances starts right now. Clearly missing the limelight over the Christmas and New Year's Eve holiday, when the media largely shuts down for 2 weeks, President-elect Donald Trump was desperate for attention. And that is why on December 22nd, a little after 5 p.m., he posted on social media, quote, "The United States of America feels that the ownership and control of Greenland is an absolute necessity." This out-of-the-blue declaration immediately sending a sleepy Washington and press corps into a tizzy. Editors, reporters, and analysts asking, is Trump really serious? What could this mean for America? Why is Trump saying this now? And what does this all mean for Greenland? In essence, Trump got exactly what he wanted. Breathless new attention on him at a rare moment when the coverage had briefly died down. And since regaining the spotlight, Trump has only continued to feed the media beast with more farcical plans of territorial expansion.
You got to treat us fairly, and they haven't treated us fairly. If the principles, both moral and legal, of this magnanimous gesture of giving are not followed, then we will demand that the Panama Canal be returned to the United States of America in full, quickly, and without question.
The Panama Canal is a disgrace, what took place at the Panama Canal. Jimmy Carter gave it to them for $1. And they were supposed to treat us well. I thought it was a terrible thing to do. You know, it was the most expensive structure ever built in the history of our country, relatively. It would be the equivalent of substantially over $1 trillion today. We lost 38,000 people. Think of it, 38,000 people, they died from malaria, mosquitoes. They were unable to stop the mosquitoes. They paid people 5 times more to take the job. Many of those people died. We gave it away for $1. But the deal was that, you know, they have to treat us fairly. They don't treat us fairly. They charge more for our ships than they charge for ships of other countries.
Can you assure the world that as you try to get control of these areas, you are not going to use military or economic coercion?
No.
And can you tell us?
Trump suggesting that once he is inaugurated, the U.S. might reclaim the Panama Canal, potentially by force. The U.S.-built canal was opened in 1914 and controlled by the U.S. until a 1977 agreement by Jimmy Carter provided for its eventual handover to Panama. It has now been Panama's canal for decades. But Trump not stopping there. The president-elect also suggesting that the U.S. annex Canada. Yes, really. Trump writing on social media, quote, "Many people in Canada love being the 51st state." Fact check, Canada is not part of the U.S. Trump also posting this bizarre graphic with an American flag stretched over Canada's territory. In response to all of this, the leaders of Greenland, Panama, and Canada expectedly pushing back. "Greenland is ours," said the territory's prime minister. "We are not for sale and will never be for sale." Panama's president releasing a statement reading, quote, "Every square meter of the Panama Canal and its adjacent area belongs to Panama. The sovereignty and independence of our country are not negotiable." And perhaps most sharply, the departing Canadian Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, making this shot across the bow, writing, quote, "There isn't a snowball's chance in hell that Canada would become part of the United States." And I appreciate that all of these leaders have to respond to Trump's threats. Their job is to defend their countries. But here in the United States, the news media should not get whipped up into a frenzy. The job of the news media is to help Americans delineate between what is trolling and bluster by Trump and what he actually has a chance of accomplishing. And yes, anything can happen. Trump might find a way to take over Canada, Greenland, and the Panama Canal. But just like Trump promised that Mexico would pay for his big, beautiful border wall, which they did not, Trump is very unlikely to see his imperialist vision come to pass. And that is because, for one, those countries do not want to be part of the United States. They have made that very clear. And Trump has repeatedly promised, since at least 2016, to put America first and end U.S. involvement in foreign conflicts. Despite all of Trump's tough talk, he prides himself on launching no new wars during his first term, and frequently attacks both former Republican and Democratic presidents for nation building and engaging in extremely expensive wars. In addition, Trump has floated the idea of buying Greenland before, during his first term, and quickly abandoned the idea before moving on to something more stimulating to him. Finally, there is no indication that Republican lawmakers, to say nothing of Democrats, have any interest in Trump's fascination with an expansion of America's borders. Without them, it's hard to see how any of this comes to pass. Conversely, what we do know is that Republican lawmakers want massive new tax cuts and legislation focused on restricting immigration and increasing deportations. This is what the news media should be focused on, what Trump actually has a chance of accomplishing, and likely will impact the American people. I disagree with Trump on most everything, and believe that he is a mean, lawless, and vindictive person. But I reject the notion that Trump is dumb. In fact, I think he can be very cunning, and one big example of that is his ability to distract the media and his political opponents from his real agenda, with other nonsense he does not actually intend to pursue. By doing this, Trump reduces the scrutiny on his actual plans and makes it easier for them to get passed and implemented. Instead of the news media writing another 1,000 or so stories on Canada, Greenland, and the Panama Canal, the American people would be far better served by reports exposing the impact of Trump's tax cuts for the rich, mass deportation plans, and promises to target his political enemies for prosecution. That is what I choose to focus on here to keep you informed. Thank you for watching Graf's Grievances. Let me know what you think. Please like, subscribe, share, and join me tomorrow for more.